The same old content? Tune in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, the only radio other radio stations listen to.
A very beautiful morning to you. It's exactly 33 minutes gone past 6 a.m. from the studio of Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. And we're reaching you live from Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Today, the first day in the month of January 2026. Happy New Year to you once again. Good morning and welcome to the very first edition of Perspectives Unlimited for the year 2026. Perspectives Unlimited is that platform where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of some of the stories across our various national dailies in a bid to keep you abreast as the conversation about the growth of Nigeria concerns you and I. Good morning once again. My name is Toluwaleke Alli, and we're currently live on Facebook, so you can watch us live at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. At Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. We're live on Facebook, and of course, as we go on, you can drop your comments on the Facebook page as well. So together with the analyst at the studio this morning, we will be delving into the national dailies to take a look at different national issues as it concerns us. First, let's take a look at the front pages across some of our national dailies this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning, Obi's ADC switch boosts coalition. That's on pages 4 and 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning. Tax laws, Nance mobilizes for nationwide protest. And the story can be found on page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And the bigger picture on the front page is a felicitation message to the president for the new year. Moving on to the front page of the Guardian newspaper, Obi's ADC defection fractures LP, reshapes opposition ahead of 2027. And that's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Investors bullish on Nigerian stock market earn 37 trillion naira in 2025. That's on page 15. Abuja court dismisses suit against new tax act, January 1 takeoff. That's on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And the lead story reads, Tinubu promises better economy, security amid opposition's knocks. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper, with a bigger picture on the front page, being the unveiling of a new dawn in revenue administration. Taking up the name of the Nigeria Revenue Service would be the FIRS, that's the Federal Inland Revenue Service, unveiling their new name and new logo as the NRS, which is the Nigeria Revenue Service. Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. The bigger picture is the same as the one on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. But above the masthead New Year message, Tinubu breaks silence on joint military operations with United States. It has a couple of riders, says his administration will deepen cooperation with regional global partners to eliminate threats to national security. Restates focus on growth-oriented economy, reforms giving concrete results. And that's on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Peter Obi joins ADC, and that's on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper for this morning. And finally, to the Punch newspaper, the bigger picture on the front page is also the same as the one of the Guardian and the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The stories on the front page are 2027 showdown. APC shows Tinubu's return as Obi eyes ADC ticket. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. On page 7, 600 billion naira war. 600 billion naira war chest can save Fubara in 2027. That's according to Wiki. 2026 outlook. Tinubu pledges strong economic rebound. And it has a rider, President prioritizes lower inflation, stronger reserves, rising GDP in 2026. Governors, lawmakers urge unity. Security reforms. That's the lead story, and it's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And, those are the stories across some of our national dailies for this morning. All right, joining me in the studio this morning is Mr. Alli Konsani. Good morning, Mr. Alli.
Good morning to you, madam.
All right. Happy New Year to you, by the way.
It's good to be here. It's 2 years of,
broadcast, yes.
right now. I congratulate you on your birthday.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you so much.
wish you a beautiful and prosperous new year. And not just to also to our listeners as well across
Thank you.
the world.
Thank you so much. All right. Yes, so today marks 2 years that we started broadcasting right here on Wales Radio 89.3 FM. Exactly the 1st of January 2024. You heard the very first voice on this dial. So thank you to everyone who has been with us since that very moment up until this time. We say thank you so much for always staying tuned to Wales Radio 89.3 FM. Thank you so much for keying into the vision of safe and wholesome broadcast for every member of the family. Now let's get straight to business. Let's begin with the president's message to Nigerians for the new year. Tinubu promises better economy, security amid opposition to knocks, and this is from the Guardian newspaper. And it has a couple of riders. President says reforms delivering results as GDP growth tops 4%. Federal government to deepen tax reforms, expand fiscal space for infrastructure, social investment. Renewed Hope World Program to target 10 million Nigerians. National Assembly 2025 reforms laid foundation for economic recovery in 2026. ADC says 2025 deepened hardship for Nigerians and renewed calls for opposition unity. Atiku calls 2025 punishing year, folds APC governance. Now let's take some of that story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared that 2026 will mark the beginning of a more robust phase of economic growth for Nigeria, saying ongoing reforms are yielding tangible results despite global economic headwinds. In his New Year goodwill message to Nigerians yesterday, the president said the country closed 2025 on a strong economic footing with steady growth, declining inflation, improved exchange rate stability, and rising investor confidence. According to him, Nigeria recorded robust gross domestic product growth in every quarter of 2025, with annualized growth expected to exceed 4%. He said inflation declined steadily and fell below 15%, in line with government targets, while trade surpluses were maintained. The president also said Nigerian Stock Exchange outperformed many of its peers, posting a 48.12% gain in 2025 and consolidating a bullish run that began in the second half of 2023. And on the external buffers, the president said foreign reserves stood at $45.4 billion as of December 29, 2025, providing a firm cushion against external shocks and supporting the naira. And he expressed confidence that the position would continue to strengthen in 2026. He also talked about the foreign direct investment reform that rose to $720 million in the third quarter of 2025 from $90 million in the preceding quarter. And, so many more that the president talked about. But this is also coming as, National Assembly on its own part said that 2025 was a year that was a defining year for Nigeria, citing wide-ranging reforms in taxation, governance, electoral processes, and also national security, laying ground for the economic recovery that Nigerians are about to experience in the year 2026. But, as all of that appraisal is going on, the opposition, they're also not silent, as the African Democratic Congress described 2025 as a challenging year for most Nigerians, saying that the federal government's promised renewed hope agenda translated instead into widespread hardship and a rising cost of living. And while saying that, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar described 2025 as one of the most punishing years in our recent history, blaming what he called economic hardship, political recklessness, and governance without empathy under the ruling APC. Now, let's start with the reforms, and the fact that the president has said that 2026 is going to be, a better year, and how all the work that has been put in is to just ensure that this year is like the year that Nigerians get to reap from all the economic reforms that has been ongoing since this government came into power.
Thank you very much, madam. In all seriousness, I would like to borrow the words of the NDLEA. The NDLEA said that if you want to pick up a government job, if you want to become a federal civil servant, you need, what's it called? You need to be checked to know if you have narcotics in your body or not. Whoever wrote this thing needs to be checked by the NDLEA. I suspect the person must be high on, banned substances, because if you are speaking from the angle of reality, you will understand that all what they have said is gibberish nonsense. That is just the truth of the matter. And the president needs to come down from this high horse. He needs to understand that things are down in Nigeria. Nigerians are down and out. Let's now focus on the reality. They said something about currency improvement and stuff like that. We need to remind him that when he came on board, the value of the naira versus the dollar was just 471 as against $1. Today, it's very, very close to 1,500. That's 3 folds in the negative. That tells you that you have failed beyond measure. They said something about inflation. Everybody knows too well that when you talk of inflation is extremely high in this country. But the MBS has been telling us that, inflation is coming down, all of that nonsense. I don't believe that. I don't buy that. Earlier in 2025, they woke up one morning and shaved 10% off of our inflation figures. Who does that? They have been lying to themselves. Nothing is happening in that regard. As regards going into 2026, with renewed hope, the truth of the matter is that going by the budget they have presented and all the parameters and yardsticks that they are talking about, it is going to be a year of renewed hopelessness on the part of the government, because they are not doing anything that is meaningful, that is going to transform the economic well-being of Nigerians. You are talking about reforms that you have carried out. I can say it with my whole mouth that since this administration came on board, not one reform has been carried out. Because if you're talking about reforms, you're talking about things that are going to make lives more meaningful for Nigerians, that are going to make things easier for Nigerians. Which sector of the economy can we say has improved in real terms, not looking at it from the highs of somebody like Bayo Ononuga and the likes? In reality, everything that you can talk about has increased astronomically. We all can remember how much a Congo of Gari was going for before this administration came on board. See, let's get realistic here. Let's stop this drama. If they actually care about Nigerians, the first thing they should tell Nigerians is that we are sorry, that we know too well that we have been failing in the last 2.5 years. And these are the things we want to do that we think may change the trajectory, the narration. But if it's still about, focusing and building on what they have done, I can tell our Nigerians to tighten up their belts and, dip their hands into everything legally permitted to boost their revenue, because things are going to be harder than ever before. 2025, in my opinion, they rubbed us blind.
How so?
Thank you. In the first quarter of the year, they told us that the federal government did net 6.9 trillion naira. And I should tell you that the first quarter is usually the slowest of all the 4 quarters. The third is usually the biggest, where you have people throwing all sorts of big figures. Let's even say, okay, things didn't go beyond what they did make in the first quarter. That tells you that in the 4 quarters of the year 2025, they must have made at least 27.6 trillion naira. I should tell you that the NNPC told us yesterday that in the first 10 months of the year, they transferred 12 trillion naira to the federal government, not the federation account, the federal government. This is outside of what the FIRS must have brought in, which we all can remember the head of FIRS, who told us that what they made was far bigger than what they projected that they were going to make. And the president even commended them for what they did. And it's the same for, customs, it's the same for NUPRSA, all the revenue-making agencies. Guess what? They told us at the end of the year they didn't make more than 10 trillion. When just one agency said they transferred 12 trillion to you, and you are telling us that for the whole year you didn't make more than 10 trillion. And it's still the same footsteps that they are about to make in 2026. In all seriousness, the president needs to be sincere. I should say it, I am bold to say it here that all responsible presidents are actually in their respective jurisdictions right now, celebrating the new year with the people. But in our own case, our president is junketing around the world. He's currently, I want to believe he is in France, but they are too ashamed to say that he has gone to France again. Rather, they said he is in Europe. And if they can tell us he is in Europe, we can as well say that he is in Russia, he is in the UK, he is in France. Anywhere we say that it's part of Europe is okay. What president leaves his country at this particular year, at this particular time?
One who wants to bring in better investment into the nation to ensure that
can you tell me one good? Let's forget about better here. Just one good investment that Nigerians have witnessed in the last 2.5 years. As far as I'm concerned, we have somebody in the office of the president, but that office in reality is vacant. Talk of food security. He said, okay, he is open on France to help Nigeria attain food security. These are not my words. These are his words. Talk of security. I'm talking about security here, mirror security here. America is taking that role for him. What exactly is he doing?
It's in partnership. It's not just the American government. It's in partnership with the Nigerian government.
You do not run the administration of your country in ghost mode. You actually take the charge, you lead. And if you now need partnerships, it's okay. People actually reach out to other people to say, help me do this, help me do that. But you must do something. What you are doing is what other people are going to compliment for you. What exactly is this president doing other than entrenching poverty in Nigeria? Anybody who can fault me can call in this morning and say, oh, at least I have seen this, I have seen that. 2024, I'm struggling to see one project that they did that we say, okay, that Nigerians can say, okay, at least we can say this. At least we can say this. This activity is going on. Nothing. Increases across the board. What the federal government is selling is increasing. What private individuals are selling is also increasing. And income of Nigerians is not increasing. And you are saying that inflation, no. The best way to boost the economy of a country is by increasing the purchasing power of the people. Everybody knows too well in Nigeria that our collective purchasing power keeps going down day by day. There is absolutely no way we are going anywhere meaningful with that. If the president wants something sensible to happen to Nigerians, then he needs to find a way to remove these loads on our backs. If he keeps piling more and more and more. I don't know if you can go into NRS, FIRS now, or we wait for that topic on its own.
So we're actually coming to that because we also have to talk about the takes off today, the new tax laws take off today. And, this is still amidst a lot of back and forth, But let's first take a look at what the opposition said about the past year.
In all seriousness, I heard everything you said from the opposition, and I can say that they are not even as, aggressive as I would have expected them to be. The truth of the matter is that 2025 was a crushing year for most Nigerians. When I say crushing, I mean crushing year for most Nigerians.
So you agree with the opposition on their take?
I do not agree with that because they are not even expressing what's on the ground. They are only, trying to paint a picture of what's on the ground. It's what they are saying is not a total reflection of what Nigerians went through. It was a devastating year for most people financially in all ramifications. 2025, nice at all. That's just the truth of the matter. That is just the truth of the matter. Anybody saying anything contrary is, only play to the gallery.
Now let's come to
NRS.
to NRS.
The truth of the matter is that
Nance is already threatening.
Now what?
Nance.
Nance.
To mobilize.
What is Nance?
To mobilize for to go on to mobilize for protest against this. The court has already, okayed that they can go on, but the opposition is still saying this implementation should not go on, especially taking a look at what is currently going on and the fact that there's still so much. But even in the midst of all of that, we still keep getting updates about it. It feels like it's at every point when we have misconceptions in quotes that we get to see the committee chairman Taiwo Oyedele come out to say no, it's not like this, no, it's not like that. We saw clips of him coming out yesterday to say, okay, your description has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to be taxed. It's not like it's every amount that comes into your account that you get taxed on. But yes, the banks have been sending messages that from today, for transfers that you make, 15 naira is going to be taken off your account. All of this happening, but then the president says this policy begins today.
Let's look at it from two angles. Let's start from Taiwo Oyedele before we come to the president.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, this is my personal opinion. Taiwo Oyedele is an evil hypocrite, and I'll say why I just said this. Before he was appointed the chair of that committee, he had been posting on Twitter, now X, criticizing the moves of the previous administrations to increase taxes in Nigeria. He always labeled such moves with, in fact, unprintable names. He at some point told the government point blank that there is absolutely no way you can increase revenue by taxing people, that no country in the world has ever taxed its way into development, and that's the truth of the matter. A certain government was, coming up with taxation on a particular food item, and they criticized that government like hellfire was, raging and brewing. Guess what? He was appointed to chair a committee. He was given 5 billion naira, and he began to sing like a canary, like a bird, speaking for everything he had spoken against in the past until 5 billion naira came on board.
Maybe he has now come to understand the importance of, taxation.
Through 5 billion naira. Yes, he has come to understand the importance of taxation.
How are we? What's
naira.
The proof that he got 5 billion naira?
No, that is in open. That is in the open. Everybody knows that. He has not denied it. You can Google it. You can fact check me. He got 5 billion naira, and everything he criticized in the past is now okay. If you speak against, anything taxes right now, you are Taiwo Oyedele's best enemy. And let's not forget that this is someone who labels himself as a Christian. I don't believe he's a Christian, because if you are a Christian, you won't be saying things he has been saying. He went right into a church, and he said it right in the middle of in the midst of the congregation, that if you are a prostitute, you are going to pay tax. If you are a drug dealer, it clearly tells you that the government cares less about modesty, about good things, about good living and stuff like that.
Maybe that's his own opinion. It could be what
He doesn't have a personal opinion at this particular point in time, because he is the chair of a government committee. Whatever comes out of your mouth is the position of the government. It clearly tells you that this government favors money over good living. That's number one. Let's now talk about the president. This is my personal opinion once again. The president has told the whole world that he's not a credible human being. And I have my facts here. We are discussing the credibility of the so-called tax laws. The tax laws as passed by the National Assembly are, as far as I'm concerned, a huge source of concern, because they are going to further impoverish us. And that is not what we should be talking about in 2026. Going by what we went through in 2024 and 2025, we should at least be talking about practical relief. But instead, it's about taxing us more. That's on one side. A member of the House of Reps now came on board to say that, what you guys gazetted, which is what is going to be implemented, is far different from what we approved in the National Assembly. That questions the credibility of everybody involved: the president himself, the Minister of Finance, FIRS chairman, and of course Taiwo Udili, the jobless guy, as far as I'm concerned, because he was drafted to come up with a new law that will guide our tax administration. At the exact point that that thing became law, that was the time the guy should have left the scene. That is, if he has something doing with his life. But apparently, he's a jobless guy. He's still hanging around to...
No, he's only trying to... as the chairman of the committee, I feel that it shouldn't just allow the old misconceptions about it to go.
The truth of the matter is that he is not the one who's going to implement the new tax laws. That's going to be the NRS. So if anybody is going to be speaking to Nigerians, it should be the NRS. And I should tell you that this guy has actually been contradicting the NRS. He said that if you do not have a tax ID, you cannot operate a bank account. Only for the FIRS, then now NRS to say, no, that's not necessary. You don't need a tax ID. It tells you that this guy is only seeking attention. He's a jobless guy that should be made to know that he is a jobless guy. Just get out of this place. That's on one side. For the president, like I said, he has told the whole world that he lacks credibility, because if it were to be someone who ranks credibility high in everything he does, he would say, let's hold on right now. Nigerians are watching us. Everybody's watching us. What exactly did the National Assembly pass? What did I sign? What are they gazetting? Those are the things that should be coming out of... who misled me? That is, if he wasn't the one who misled himself, not me. But no, the president is saying, he didn't say it that like we can go to hell, but going by what he is saying, he has actually said that we can go to hell, that he's not interested in whatever we are saying, whether what was approved was what was gazetted.
No, he already said that it should be implemented, and then, whatever reviews can
No, that is not how things are done. What exactly do you want to implement? Is it what Nigerians approved through their National Assembly members? If that is not what we approved, then you cannot implement it on us, because that's going to be evil. We were not part of what you are implementing. Now you are telling us to keep quiet, that you must implement it on us before we can open our mouths to complain. No. It clearly tells you that that is a person who places so much value and emphasis on money rather than credibility and integrity. He has just told the whole world that, as far as he's concerned, credibility is zero. Just bring money, get money. That's all. And that is not the type of person I would want to see as my president, because he has shown the whole world that he just doesn't care about credibility. He does not know what credibility means. Credibility means all he cares about is money. That is it. It's not fair. It is not fair. He has actually shot himself in the foot, because I'm not so sure of what the courts are going to do at the end of the day. Some people rushed to court.
The courts already okayed the law.
If I'm not mistaken, they did not particularly okay it. What they said was that they cannot stop the implementation. Let them implement. Now come back with facts and evidence that, they have actually switched what they approved. If you can do that, then we will fix it. It's something that the government had been planning to do for months. Judges are very, very brilliant people. They know
I was
how
going to say,
to...
does the court, the judiciary should, if the legislative cannot stop it,
that is
the
it.
judiciary is supposed to be the third arm of government that should say, put a pause on this. So is it right for the court to say we cannot stop the implementation?
Before you go to court, you must be able to prove before the court that you are going to suffer injury, or that you have suffered injury. What the judiciary is saying is that, prove to us that you have suffered injury, or that you are likely to suffer injury. It's not enough to say, what was approved is different from what is being gazetted. Bring the two documents before me. Let me see, before I can say that, this is going to bring injury to you or not. And
there's also the National Assembly that is saying is when they come back from recess.
Actually, not even come back from recess. Work is actually ongoing. The committee as a whole, I'm talking about the entire members, are on holidays, but people who are in the ad hoc committee, the temporary committee, mandated to review the documents, are actually at work right now. They are checking to see which part of it they approved, which part of it they did not approve. The truth of the matter is that I'm not expecting much from the national.
I was going to ask that should we expect that this is going to yield any result?
I am not expecting much from the National Assembly, knowing that they are political hallelujah boys. Whatever the president says is what becomes law to them. But at least Nigerians know better. I have seen the true drafts, and I can tell you that there are many differences apart from what Dasuki said. The NRS is now going to be the judge and prosecutor, which is not right. I mean, they shouldn't have the right to arrest anybody. They shouldn't have the right to say, okay, this is what we are going to deduct from your account. They shouldn't have the right to say, okay, this is how much interest you are going to pay. I mean, it's normal interest, but they have altered it to become compound interest, which means it's going to be multiple folds of what you are supposed to pay. That is, if they can prove that you didn't pay. I mean, that's not making sense. If you want to do that, you should actually leave that for the court to decide. There are judges who are trained in the area of taxation. In fact, in law school, in university, in law school, you do tax law. So what exactly are we talking about? I don't get it. It's just like they have been proving what some of us have been saying, which is that the only idea behind the tax reforms, quote unquote, is just to, not even milk us, to squeeze us, to dry us. Let's not forget what led to the so-called reforms initially. The president said that, looking at our population, that Nigerians are not paying enough tax. And, Taiwo, go help me draft whatever you can draft to ensure that Nigerians are going to pay more taxes. And going by what the president has been doing, especially when the credibility of the document is being questioned, it is evident that the president is interested in making more money, even if it's going to cost us our lives. That's all I can see here.
All right, this is Perspectives Unlimited on Wales Radio 89.3 FM. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments on our Facebook page at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page, at Wales Radio 893 FM fan page. Put a call through to the studio on 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 1000, or 0915 333 4893, 0915 333 4893. You can also call 0911 3333 893, 0911 3333 893. Hello, good morning. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Hello.
My name is George. I'm calling from Nigeria.
Welcome to the show, Mr. George.
Which serious country will accept this type of act that the president has done concerning this tax reform bill? None. The price of bread was increased, I think in France or some time ago. The whole country was turned upside down. I bought a 1,000 naira recharge card and they took 35 naira out of it. What are we talking about? Which tax are they asking for? And we kept quiet. Who is the president? Is it not the private business is going up and down here? Please, Nigerians, if you want to die under this man, let's continue and keep quiet and be following him like that. Thank you.
Happy New Year to you, Mr. George.
Happy New Year to you. I think it was very much concerned.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very emotional. Talking about how Nigerians need to speak
up and speak out
and speak out at this point in time. There was a story yesterday in the dailies that analyzed how much Nigerians spent on data just in the year 2025.
Yes, I saw it.
And it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, or 0911 3333 0893.
And once again, congratulations to Mr. Joe for being our first caller this year.
Yes, Mr. Joe, but he couldn't even wait at all.
He was filled with so much anger, which is understandable. Everybody's angry right now.
Yes,
at least I am angry.
At this point in time. Thank you so much for being the first caller this year, Mr. George. All right, let's move to the Punch newspaper, where the Defense Headquarters has said that damage assessment of the joint U.S.-Nigeria airstrikes is currently ongoing.
Let's not waste much time on that. The truth of the matter is that I have spoken to people from Sokoto and Kwara states where those bombs had impacts. And I can tell you that from what I have been able to gather, not one bad boy suffered anything. Rather, it's the people that suffered losses. I'm talking about innocent people. Let's start from Kwara State. One fell very, very close to a hotel. It damaged the walls of the hotel and a lot of places around that particular community. Another one fell just 5 minutes from the hotel, and it destroyed a lot of homes. In fact, it injured a lot of people. I mean, I cannot.
But these are not in the news.
They are not totally.
Yes, the building, the damage to buildings.
Yes,
was covered.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that you would expect that human beings are going to be in buildings. So if the buildings can, suffer that type of destruction, you can only imagine what would have happened to the people in the buildings. For the ones that happened in Sokoto, I sincerely cannot understand what made them throw bombs to offer, if not for technical failure. Yes, there is crisis in Kwara State, but nothing of such has been recorded in Offa. So we can only say it was a technical failure. The federal government is saying that, it was, what's it called? Ricochet of bombs from Sokoto. Calm down now. From Sokoto, bomb will hit ground, fly. No, that's nonsense. Let's now talk about what happened in Sokoto. One dropped in a community that has not suffered any form of illegality, criminality since 2000, 25 years. The last time an incident happened in that community was in the year 2000 when somebody was kidnapped. 25 years, nothing. No armed robbery, no kidnapping, nothing. You drop the bomb there. That's number one. Number two, a road used by many people to go to farms and all of that. They said that, terrorists do sometimes use the road to, come into some villages and all of that, and you bumped that particular road. At a time when no terrorist was on the road, what exactly did you expect was going to happen? It would destroy people's lives.
So are you saying that
people's
the
farms,
US strike, the airstrike wasn't targeted, or it didn't get to, not that it wasn't targeted to, but it didn't get to the ISWAP?
I can tell anybody who cares to listen about that. And this thing happened exactly a week ago.
Yes.
Are they telling us that the fire from the explosions are still raging till now, that they cannot assess what's actually happening or what has happened, such that they have to tell us that, they are still... No, let's not talk about that. The truth of the matter is that...
the Defense Media Operations, the director, Major General Michael Onoja, he said that, there's a process
that is just information.
Battle.
That is information management, man. That is my job. And I know exactly what I have to do. Make it just calm me from my territory. What I'm now saying is that we need to understand exactly what we are doing. I don't know if you don't want to talk about this. Or should we go ahead? Or?
Yes, I was actually also coming to that because bandits attacked police station in Ondo State. I don't...
Not that they attacked a police station. They actually ransacked it and burnt it down to the ground. They can attack and be repelled.
Yes, and then the station was actually burnt down.
No, they can actually attack and get repelled. You know what I'm trying to say? They can attack and get repelled. Like you fight back and they disperse themselves. No, that's not what happened. These guys, I have spoken to people from that community also between yesterday and today.
And it was just yesterday night as people were preparing to go for crossover.
What they saw was, a statako of gunfire. What's happening? Minding the consciousness that is now in the minds of everybody.
Oh, what again?
Everybody jabba. Only for them to see even people in uniforms coming behind them. Can you blame them? Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to die. And this guy went in, they
They
claimed...
were about according to the Punch newspaper, there were about 20.
They claimed the hammer. They now set the station alight on fire. It tells you clearly that we need to move from the era of propaganda to the era of serious work. I am worried, deeply worried, because I know too well that if we do not do the needful, it's only a matter of time before these guys take over everywhere in Nigeria.
Now, it was also just yesterday that the 2 nights ago, the Amotekun Corps in Ondo State came out to say that they had arrested 39 suspects who said they were fleeing Sokoto.
See, I am an information manager. The moment I saw that thing, I said, this is nonsense. Pardon me. People were listening may say, what is Mr. Sonny saying this morning? But the truth of the matter is that you do not arrest people simply because they are moving around. You may be suspicious of them, but it is not illegal to move around. For you to say you want to arrest a suspect, you must have what is incriminating on that person. Maybe weapons or hardcore intelligence that the Amotekun does not have. If it were to be the SSS that did that, I would say, okay, maybe they know exactly what they are talking about. The Amotekun cannot even hack your phone to listen to your conversation. They do not have the legal framework to do that. And they do not have the weapons to do exactly, this type of things. You have, what's it called? I personally, I do not believe that the Amotekun can successfully arrest a terrorist, because you have seen these guys and we do know that they go around town with AK-47 and the likes. Amotekun guys only carry pump action. 200 pump actions cannot do the damage that one AK-47 is going to do. See, let us all come together and ask for state police. If we have state police that will be adequately equipped, it's not just state police that will carry assault rifles like AK-47 and the likes, fine. Then we may, at the national level, state level here, now say we want to confront the menace of terrorism and banditry and the likes. But if it's still a case of pump action and the likes, trust me, things are going to keep degenerating. So as of today, knowing that it's only the federal government that is permitted by law to carry AK-47, we need to hold the federal government responsible to confront what is on the ground and also ask them to do the needful as regards creating state police that will carry adequate, weaponry and the likes. We need to discuss politics as well. It's January 1, 2026. It's officially the season of politics. We cannot but discuss what happened in Enugu yesterday when Peter Obi decamped to the APC.
To the ADC rather. And then there's also, Wike and Fubara who have again started another I don't even think that Fubara has not so far not really said anything.
He said something last night.
Except that I know that I've not seen that yet. I've not seen his own response.
He said something
but I know that Wike has been going back to back, and then also the lawmakers rejected the Christmas gift of 100,000 naira that Fubara gave to them.
Apparently, Fubara was he was not in trouble. When he gave 100,000 naira to House of Assembly members, he actually wanted to provoke them. And he was successful in doing that because the guy spoke out against, what exactly is 100,000 naira? Take your money, I don't need it, and all of that. And Wike has been, saying, one term, that's the agreement, you will not be contesting again. Who exactly is Wike here? I understand he's on a tour of all 23 local governments in Rivers State, using official cars provided by the FCT. Is that a madness? You are using FCT resources to fight your political battle in Rivers State. I didn't mean that we've got a president who thinks straight. In all seriousness, Wike would have been sacked a long time ago. He wouldn't have been appointed. If you are not somebody like Wike is not someone who is mentally straight, in my opinion. And in all seriousness, if you are not someone like him, you cannot appoint him. It takes energy of equal weight and direction to attract each other. Wike has been saying a lot of things that have shown him to be an undemocratic force. And till this very present moment, I am struggling to understand why he is still in the cabinet of the president if they are not one and the same. He has said all sorts of things. Oh, we only gave him one term. Who exactly are you to say you are giving somebody one term? You are just one out of millions of people in Rivers State. You do not have 2 terms. You can only vote one time in any election cycle. So what exactly are you talking about? Mr. Wike, you need to shut up. Let's put Wike on one side. Let's now talk about Fubara. Fubara said, things are fine. We are going to be okay, and there is no war in River State. Somebody has been beating the drum of war, and the last couple of days, I'm talking about, he said last night, that somebody has been beating drums of war in the last couple of days. Ignore him. Don't worry about him. Pay no attention to him. He go there okay last. That's how he described them. The truth of the matter is that the two of them are actually one and the same. Just that Wike is garrulous. He speaks even when he's not supposed to speak. Fubara is a more calculated guy. He hardly opens his mouth. But in reality, the two of them are Omolile.
Wike has already said he will soon disclose the peace accord that the president
The truth of the matter is that we are talking about
people.
somebody elected by the people of River State. Who exactly is the president to say you are brokering peace, you are giving them terms and all of that? I mean, that's the truth. Who is he to say, okay, these are the terms that you are going to, walk by? I mean, I don't get it. I studied political science. I understand the process, and I can tell anybody who cares to listen that this is not what the Constitution determined.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, Washoke. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Salami. I'm calling from Awotan. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Welcome
Good morning,
to
sir.
the show,
Mr.
sir.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
God bless you, sir. I like listening to you because you always make my day. May God continue to bless you, sir.
Amen. And you too, sir.
Matt, too, and
Thank you, sir.
Management. First and foremost, let me begin by saying Happy New Year to Nigeria and Nigerians.
Thank you, sir.
Bless God for taking us this far. So we only pray that 2026 will be better. Well, for me, I think I just want to be snapping what I would say. First and foremost, I think at this junction, what Nigeria needs, because there's a whole lot of things to talk about, a whole lot. So is it new tax administration? Is it hardship in the country? Is it the palliative in form of how government has been kind of, benefiting kind of, what like that. Everything around the food, something that the price is coming down. I think because election is very much on the way. So that is, you see, for me, what I'll just say is that currently Nigeria needs prayers. And the prayer is that God will give our leader the direction, honestly speaking, to lead us well. Because let me say, Nigeria has never been so traumatized like in the last 3 years of this administration, 2.5 years of this administration. As for Buhari, we were talking of cluelessness, incompetence, and what's it called, and ineptitude. But this one is, we're talking of, should I even put it wickedness to the people, honestly speaking. And that's why I'm only saying that Nigeria only need to pray for President Tinubu to at least deliver us from what we are passing through, honestly speaking. Because it's been from one crisis to another in 2023 till now. We only pray that 2026 there will be a clear departure from what Nigeria has been passing through.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
That's administration for every other thing.
Thank you, sir.
Nigeria. As for Wike is just like a dying horse. The last week of a dying horse. You know it's finished. Even Mr. President will soon depart with him. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Salami said something that I cannot but agree with. He said in the years of Buhari, we were complaining of cluelessness. I mean, that's very true. But now it's no longer cluelessness. The guys who are there, let me create one English morning, they are clueful. There's nothing like that in the English dictionary, but please pardon me to say it. They are clueful, but I mean, they are extremely wicked. That's it. Now let's talk about Peter Obi.
Peter Obi, yes.
In all seriousness, things are now beginning to take shape in the political landscape.
Does this look like the opposition is now fully gearing up
The
for
truth of
what
the
is
matter
to
is that
come?
they were together the opposition. I'm talking about the main guys in the opposition that took on Peter Obi. They were together until 2022 when Peter Obi said he was going to leave the PDP. I believe too well that if those two are on the same ticket, or even if they are not on the same ticket, if just one of them is contesting and the other is not contesting, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu can say goodbye to the presidency. So what I want to see come 2027 is a scenario where if they do not run on a joint ticket, at least they are not running against each other. That is what I want. I am not shy or afraid to say that I am not proud of this administration. I do not want it because I understand what it has done to my personal finances, and I want things to get better for me. So I need someone else.
All right. Let's quickly hear from this person. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the beautiful radio woman.
Good morning, Mr.
Happy New Year to
Gregamario.
you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Sonny, Happy New Year to you, sir.
Same to you, Baba Ekaro, sir.
Yes, sir. I want to ask a question. I'm talking about River State.
Okay.
Who is in the right position to choose who ought to be the governor of the state?
The people of River State, sir.
Election. Sir?
The people of River State.
People of River State,
Yes.
fine. So why is it that Wike is now the one determining who is the competent or who will be the new governor, the successor of Fubara? I don't know. Is this democracy? I think it should be the governor of the people, determined by the people. So, but in this case now, the people are not even, they don't even feature here. So the thing is that that means that Wike is the one that will determine who will be the governor and not the people. And you can, like Mr. Fonny said, he was turning the 20 local government of the state with the vehicle belonging to the FCT, spending taxpayers' money anyhow as he wishes. Is that a normal thing to do? I think if Mr. President would want to have a headway in 2027 election, he should try and do away with Wike, or else Wike will be a bad egg among the good eggs that he's having. And Wike might eventually turn down the goodies that Mr. President is doing. Wike by now, if it was something a normal client, it's a normal Senate client, Wike should have been asked to go. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why he's been able to do what he's doing now, because he's holding a political office. Okay. And you should remember that his days are numbered in that office.
All right, thank you.
I'm coming, please, I'll soon stop now. If by chance Tinubu did not win 2027 election, Wike will no longer be relevant. Let Fubara, let people of the state determine who will be their governor. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gregamario, for your take on the show this morning. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
It is always an honor to be here.
All right. Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Once again, Happy New Year to you and happy second anniversary to Wells Radio 89.3 FM. As I would always say, wherever it is that you find yourself, always ensure that you put Nigeria out there in good light. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And happy holidays. My name is Toluwaleke Alli.